It's been great to be here. The Peach Bowl people have been great to us so far. The players have had a good time. They've been working hard since we've been here. We have another practice this morning, which would be the third practice here on the bowl site, and we're excited to get the game going and put on a good show.
All right.
I think that you see a lot of the same things out of him that you saw out of Kenny. You know what I mean? He's a decent sized guy. He moves around similar. You know what I mean? He still breaks the pocket. We really tried to work to find his scrambling patterns too. You know what I mean? To see what he does and how he moves around in the pocket and stuff like that. And it was good. I mean, he's got some time in the games this year too, and he throws a good ball and he's got a strong arm. And so we're really excited about playing him and see how it works. But it was a real deal to be able to say, okay, who is this guy? And he's very similar. So we're excited to see how it goes. Because I don't think those guys get enough credit for the things that they do in the weight room. Our strength staff, they're guys who have the ability to make guys work in the way that they do it. That they compete in every little thing, from every lift to every rep of every lift to every set of every rep to when they go out and they run. And I think that the ability to teach guys how to strain to finish and they see the automatic results with all the things that the strength staff are doing, or if you're videoing just as they finish running through a line and the guy's learning, hey, look, your shoulders came up here where you could still, those little things that people don't always notice. I think that really helped us understand how to finish, how to finish the rep, how to finish the sprint, how to finish the play. And I think that those things are the things that go back into your culture. And when you look at it, you say, man, the guys play hard. You know what I mean? We might not always be in the right place. We might not always do the right, but the guys will fight to get off a block, and they'll run like crazy, and they'll get to the ball. And when they get there, they're trying to finish it and cap things off and do all those things. And I don't know that that's the things that you really see in the end to say, okay, that's made us better. That hard work and work ethic, I say, it made us a lot better. On top of all this, guys are going to get stronger and they're going to get more powerful, and you can see the difference in the explosion. But really, when it comes down to it, the thing that we were most excited about when we got on the field is just seeing how well the guys finished, how hard they worked when they were out there. It was already ingrained in them by the time we took the field. So it was a great thing for us. That off-season program, to have it, after not being able to have it for years, really helped us. I think that Addison, he's an outstanding player, man. I mean, the guy can do it all. When you watch, and that's how we always start off, right, as a staff. We always look at the scary things, right? You go through and watch the explosives, and you say, hey, is there things that certain guys do, and that's all they do? Well, he's not really. I mean, he'll catch an under route and go, and he'll catch a deep ball, and he's really. A lot in their design is to be able to get the ball to him, whether it's short and let him use his athleticism, which he's very good at, or take shots on you. You know what I mean? And yes, we're gonna try to do some things to help take him away, and put people over the top of him, or do whatever we can. I mean he's an outstanding player. I mean, you don't win the Biletnikoff without being an outstanding player, and he's a guy that we got to know where he is and where he's at, because they'll put him they'll put him in the backfield and they'll put him out wide, and he'll play everything in between. So we're just trying to have some awareness of where he is, you know what I mean, and definitely try to get a situation where we can, hey, the safety knows and who's ever on him knows, and we kind of build a package and really started with him. I think that it's not just the secondary, though. You know what I mean? Defense is a team thing. So I think that it has to go all together. You know what I mean? Yes, the secondary, we'd love them to finish strong and be able to say, okay, hey, we got something to hang our hat on. We played, the best receiver in the country, and we did a great job with him, and we limited, some of his explosives, and we tackled him, and we drove him. We understood the thing. But really, it comes back to the D-line, too. It's about them, too. It's not just a one part thing. We have to be able to get pressure on the quarterback. When we blitz, our backers or DBs or whoever's blitzing has to get home, and it's a thing that we all have to work together. It's not the guys in the back. We're not playing 7-on-7. So it's a deal that, hey, our front guys have to understand that they're involved in this too. Our backers, whether they get depth or they're matching things up or whatever, they're involved in this too. Where we say, hey, listen, we need to all work. All three levels of the defense have to work together, and that's really how you continue to stop the pass. If you have that opportunity. And really, we'll see how the game goes too. I mean, if they're You know, if we get up on them for whatever reason and they're throwing the ball, well, you know, hey, that's a different game, and you can hang your hat on, really, when you look at the end, you know, how many yards per completion, how many yards per attempt did we give up, more so than the total, you know, because you don't ever know how the flow of the game is going to go. You know, I mean, you could have if you get your head beat in and they run the ball, you know, the whole second half or something like that, that'd be a fake win in passing yardage, you know. But it's also a deal where, hey, you give up some yards in the second half because we're doing well. That could still be a win even if you give up some yards. So I think there's a fine balance there, you know, where you want everybody to play together and rush and cover together, and when we do blitz, it hits, and when we don't, we get a good four-man rush and we get the quarterback holding the ball and we get some of those things working together. That's really what we want to see. I think that's just kind of the draw, right? Is you just got to keep chopping and keep working. You know what I mean? And the guys have to understand. And I think that we do that. You know what? Are we going to give up a play? Sure. Are we going to get scored on? Sure. But that's something that you say, okay. You know, you have to be able to put that out of your mind and go on to the next play. You know what's the history of that? It starts all over. Hey, let's go. I'm gonna quick learn what I did and how I can improve me, you know, and that's how the guys have to think, whether it's a DB or a D lineman or whatever the case is. It has to be like, okay, this happened to us, okay, take it in, okay, let's get to the next play, and we got to be able to have that short memory, because that's what all good defenses do. It does, you know, you could give up a big play and then come back and get a takeaway the next play. Well, that's a successful drive for you on defense, you know. Or you give up a first down on a third down, well then, you know, you get a tackle for loss on the next play. Well, that sets you up to win the next third down, you know. And I think that we have to continue to build on those things. And when we do have a chance to say, okay, hey, we gave up some points or some yards or whatever the case is, and then we come back and we scrap back and we make a play that set up our offense so they can score. Well, that ends up that's where you get the team model. That's why it's the best sport in the world. You know what I mean? I mean, you can play. You know, without the offense, you're not going to win any game. You know, without the defense, you're not going to win any. So you got to keep that scale and keep fighting and keep battling. And that's what we've done a good job of this year. I think it's always important to be able to go off on a positive note. You know what I mean? Have a good taste in your mouth when you leave, and be able to look at, you know, either way about it. I mean, once the season's over, we're going to look at, hey, these are the things we did good. These are the things we need to improve on as we go. But I think that it's always helpful to have a better drive to say, hey, listen, we had a chance to get a little bit more healthy. You know what I mean? We hopefully had, you know, some pieces that we could do. Okay, good. We got a little bit of stuff in. Okay, good. Now let's look at it and say, hey, listen, if we have an outstanding or a good showing that, you know, this week, well, hey, that helps catapult you in, you know. If it's an okay showing or it's what we've been as we've got later into the year, you'd say, okay, hey, these are the pieces that we need to help and replace. But I think that the competition piece is the biggest thing for everybody all the time. You know, as we get some of these pieces back and we get, you know, guys who were hurt back, I think that's going to catapult us into the offseason anyway, because there'll be more competition. You know, there's just more bodies running around the field, and guys coming back from injury will help us a bunch. You know, he's a really a great man. I mean, he's a guy that, you know, when you learn his story and his why, it's outstanding. I mean, he's really there for the guys. You know what I mean? He's a guy that the players love. That he loves the players. He knows all about them. He's a guy that really connects with those guys. I'm really excited for him because he has a chance to come back to his alma mater, I guess, since we're here. But he's got a chance to come back here. His family's excited to move here. This is where his kids know his home. You know, because this is where he was kind of based out of when he was playing in the league. They have friends and family here. So I'm really excited for him as a person. I think that you know, he felt like it was the best move for him and him to have a chance to work with a whole secondary and not just, you know, and not just take a piece of it like we did it and broke it up. I think all those things are positive, and we're going to miss him, you know.
All right, next.
You know, it's always hard, especially on defense. I think everybody has their own unique issues when you do take such a long break. You know, you're excited to get some guys a little bit more healthy because maybe you didn't bang for the first couple weeks and then you started to hit again. But really, the biggest thing that you see, and you see it on the bowl games or in the preseason with the NFL and stuff like that, is you see the issues with the tackling, the leverage, the full speed stuff happening, and that's always a concern. You know, a ball gets to the perimeter. Is the guy going to be able to stay outside and keep the edge to the defense where, you know, you can use your help? Those are the things that we're really straining, you know, the last couple days, and we'll continue to do until we play, because those are the things that you usually have issues with, is just the full speed tackling, the leverage to the ball, not getting cut back on if I'm inside, all those things. And then as for Snow, it's been great to see him. You know, he's such a smart young man that excuse me, he really started off, you know, he knows a couple different positions. You know, he was battling for playing time early, and he's a guy that, you know, he has an ability that when he makes contact, you know, people go backwards, and you notice those things. You know, he's made some good plays for us, and he's done a really good job of learning, and he's a guy that's sharp enough that, you know, you give him something like, hey, when this happens, this is probably going to happen. He's one of those dudes who'll be on the field talking about those things and getting other guys on the same page. So, and I think you've seen his growth, you know what I mean? He started off as a backup. You know, he battled in where they started going even playing time, and then he kept growing, and now he's, you know, a full-time starter and doing a great job. So we're excited about him and having him for a little while longer. I think that it's a combination of everything. You know, and trying to get guys back to healthy, you know, I mean, to get Sim back, I mean, he's a guy that can use his hands, and he can create rush, and he can do some things up front. I think that's always helpful, you know, and just, you know, as guys, you know, and you'll see it too, as guys get, you know, healthy, even the guys who are playing, just to be able to say, okay, hey, I can actually run close to full speed, and I really wasn't there the last 2 games of the season. Now I'm actually, you know, close to back up to where I was when we started this whole deal in August, you know, and so we're excited to see some of those guys. But yeah, we're hoping to have, like, the guys who are playing are a little bit more healthy than they were, you know, as, you know, you get through the bumps and bruises of the season, you know, and then the guys that were out, we're hoping to gain one or two of them back, but you know, we're going to have who we have when we get into the game. You know, we're going to have who we have, and we're going to play as hard as we can, and really all those things. You know, I think everybody wants to play. I think everybody's all in. I think everybody's trying to get back. I think it's that kind of way on defense, and we'll see who we have when we get there. You know, we're really a 4-3 team that plays nickel almost all the time, just because of the way that, you know, college football has evolved, where it's all speed. It's all, people are playing with 3 wide receivers, and if you want to be able to match up, you got to be able to play with more defensive backs. You know, I think that you know, you want to be able to give different looks, especially with how people are. You know, there's some teams who don't care. Let's be real. There's some teams who don't care because they go so fast. They don't care. So for those teams, you can line up, and you can just play whatever you want. You know, the idea of being multiple and showing multiple looks and different coverages and things like that is more for the game, how it's evolved into being a deal where, hey, I'm going to get up there and I'm going to look, you know what I mean? And now really it's out of the quarterback's hands. You don't necessarily, you have to fool the guy upstairs in the box who's looking at what you're in too, and then you have to try to, okay, can you switch the defense? Can you do this? Can you show him something? You know, or can you at least fool with the quarterback? Those are the things that make you stronger on defense as you get your layers in, is to be able to say, okay, at pre-snap, you know, you have to be able to say, okay, can the guy upstairs not know what you're in? And then if he knows what you're in, can you at least make it look different for the guy who's under center? You know, because it's, you know, teams do a really good job having you show your hand nowadays because of the different tempos that they go. You know, hey, we're going to go fast, we're going to go fast, we're going to go fast, and then stop and then look, and then we're going to do, you know, all those things. So I think that makes a big difference, you know, and we are a 4-down team. I mean, we're gonna rush 4 guys, you know, the majority of the time, and we're gonna bring pressures off that and do all those kind of things. So a lot of times the multiplicity for us comes in the back end. You know, it's this coverage, but it's this coverage, and you know, as we get farther into the package, we'll layer it even a little bit more as we keep going. We've you know, we had a couple days like that, you know, especially early, where we were going just, you know, team on team. It was like being in the spring ball and stuff like that, and it was great to see. And you know, I don't know that, a bunch of the dudes stood out. I mean, it was a deal where you'd say, hey, it was good to see a guy like Avery Dunn or a guy like Derek Harmon or, some of those dudes up front, see how they progressed, and get them back on the field and let them compete against some of our, best, to be able to see, as you look through the guys in the back and say, okay, KJ, or just to be able to put different pieces in and let people see, even just to see those guys run and do what you do, you know what I mean, and then even take the old guys and go back and do some fundamentals, you know what I mean. I think that was a really exciting thing for all of us, but to be able to say, okay, here's what we're going to have looking forward, and then I mean, we got some guys who are a little bit banged up, you know what I mean, to have them a chance to rest a little bit was good for us, but it was a good few days of spring football type stuff, and to be able to bang a little bit and rest some of those dudes, and just be able to see like some of the backups get more reps. Even a Van Sumer, and have him run around and take a bunch more reps, or Ma, you know what I mean, run around and strike people, and you to see him and his development keep growing. I think that those are always good things to do for those guys, and the bowl prep helps with that stuff. It's like having the next couple of days of fall camp. Love to see him have a big game. You know what I mean? X is our best leader and one of the most fun guys to be around. He's a great communicator, and we're excited, and hopefully he can make some of those plays too, getting healthy.
All right. Thanks very much, Coach. We'll let you get back to work.
Thanks for your
time.
time.
Have a good day.
You too.
All right. From here on out, we're going to have maybe 5 or 6 minutes with each of the players, and I think we're going to start first with defensive end Drew Beasley.